Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's good to see you. Here comes Sybil. Hi, Sybil.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much.
good to be
Wow.
here. Thank you. My
Of,
honor. Yeah.
of course, of course. I'm so happy that you were able to go on with Linda on Monday. Looks like that
Oh,
went very successfully for you.
yeah, that was amazing. We're going to do it again next Monday.
Are you really? Well,
Yeah.
good for you. Good for you. I think that's fabulous. She's a
Yeah.
lot of fun to work with. She
Oh,
really
yeah.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Super fun.
And Susan says, so are you. So there we go.
Yeah.
Uh, so, yes, everybody, you need to know that Sybil and I planned on going on was it last week or the week before now? I can't even remember. I think it
It
was
was two
last week.
weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. And of
Hmm.
course, I ended up with the dreaded COVID. And thank God for Sybil. She spent a lot of time working with me and helped me a real lot. So I can't thank you enough.
Oh,
That
you're
was
welcome.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Your energy healing is fabulous, just fabulous. So before we start, I pulled a card because I wanted to pull a card. I like to do that sometimes just to see what the energies are like. Hi, Gertrude. It's good to see you. Hi, everybody in the chat. Welcome. And what did I pull? But I pulled Danvatari, who is a Hindu, Jain, and Sikh. It's actually the manifestation of Vishnu. And
Wow. I love these
is
two.
it's received the blessing of balance, sound health, and self-care. And
Amazing.
that's exactly what you do.
Oh,
So yes,
oh,
I
okay.
just thought I
Yeah.
thought it was perfect. I thought it
Yeah.
was a perfect card, and we all need sound health and
Yeah.
self-care and all those other things. Um, I was where was I? There's a huge community of Indian folk that live around where I live here in
Okay.
Washington, and they have signs up that say that Diwali is coming. So I just checked on it, and Diwali is the festival of lights for those three religions, and it's next Monday. And I thought, ooh, I should do something next Monday because what it is it's a celebration of a victory of light over darkness.
Oh, I
And
love that.
we know we sure could use that, couldn't we?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
work a lot with a lot of my clients are Hindu. I'm not, I know you see sometimes I have the Yeshua statue behind me, but
Uh-huh.
I don't
Yeah.
want or an angel. I had a Buddha. I don't know if you can see my Buddha.
Oh yeah, I could see him.
Hold
Yeah.
tight. Hold tight
Uh-huh.
there. It depends on
Hmm.
where I put the camera. So I have
I get it.
um
Yeah.
yeah, but I just want to say I'm non-denominational. I'm
I
happy
so
to
am
work
I.
with
So am
everyone.
I. Although
Just if you're seeing.
I have a great love for green Tara. I really
Oh,
do.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing healing
Yeah.
energy. I
But
love
yes, it is very definitely. But I'm non-denominational as well. I just,
Yeah.
whoever it is that's a spirit guide comes through, and one of them is the green Tara, and I just love her.
Okay.
She brings me some great energy, and
Yeah. Well, I
so
work with animal totems.
uh-huh.
Well, as far as reading and getting messages from nature, but I work with Kuan Yin. I have a Kuan Yin statue over here. You can't see it, but
Yeah, I
she's
love Kuan
amazing
Yin.
energy too. So,
She is. She
I have a
is.
past life as a Buddhist, and yeah, so Um, uh, I go way back before then. I was here. I've been here for
A
too
lot of
long
times. Yeah,
before we
that's
had religion.
wow. Well, I had a reading with a guy in Akashic Records a number of years ago, and I always wondered why I really loved to read about the Essenes. And he said I was an Essene, so I understand,
Um,
and that just made me so happy.
wasn't
Do you
that
know?
Bodakai the queen of the Essenes? Yes, she was the queen of the Essenes. They were a very powerful feminine culture. So she had Bodakai and her sisters, and
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
um, yeah, I was told that I'm like, I don't think I was Bodakai. I was involved. I was told
Yeah,
but by a teacher that I might have been back there or something like that. And then my friend who is psychic, she goes, no, you can't be Bodakai. I was Bodakai. And I'm like, okay, you're Bodakai because I don't. there's some things
Uh-huh.
I really connect with, but I wasn't
Right.
like, well, I feel like I connect with the Essenes. That may
Yeah,
be where we were
maybe,
connected. They were very
maybe.
powerful, feminine.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
And that's where Jesus supposedly spent a lot of his time. I mean, he was
okay.
very busy during that period of time, and they found that book, the Dead Sea Scrolls, of course,
Yeah.
which had a lot of that information in it. I love that because I teach
Yeah.
literature, so
Okay.
we
Well, I
always looking at that.
actually, what's that?
Oh, so I'm always looking at things like that in my
Yeah, yeah.
classes. Yeah.
I
Yep.
actually am connected to Mary Magdalena, who's the one that I mean, I started working with Jesus because it felt familiar to me
Sure.
from past
Sure.
lives, but I really connect in with the feminine energy of Magdalena, and
Mm-hmm.
she trained in the temple of Isis. So
Ooh.
this is a very
Okay.
feminine based Egyptian culture that came out of the that's beginnings, origins were in back in Lemuria, which are
Right.
lifetimes that I have experienced in past life regression. I mean, I can't
Mm-hmm.
prove that any of that happened,
Right.
but I
Right.
know that I
Yeah.
was there. And so
Sure.
I'm very connected to those types of beings. And in some of those teachings, they felt that Magdalena was Yeshua, the Aramaic name for Jesus,
For
teacher.
Jesus. Right.
And
Yep.
this being actually, Jesus came here to teach about unconditional love because after all the wars and
Correct.
the things that were going on here, they said, the beings that watch over us, we really need someone to come here to teach about unconditional love,
Mm-hmm.
healing, and forgiveness. And it
Right.
needed to be a male energy because we had a lot of, it was the male, predominantly
Patriarchal. Yeah.
patriarchal planet
Right.
still at this time, which is changing now.
It
But
is. I
anyway,
know.
yeah. So anyway, that's why some people believe that he was summoned here and has been in here and been in many different lifetimes as a shaman, as a
Right.
Melchizedek, as which who's a Jewish shaman
Okay.
healer, and different incarnations. And so some people believe that, which is very interesting. And but I just love connecting with all those energies.
I
There
know.
was a really a good book called Power versus Force
I've
that
read it.
talks,
Yep.
okay, yeah, that
Yep. Yep.
talks about, just briefly talks about the messages of the ascended masters,
Right.
Buddha, Kuan Yin, Moses, Merlin, the ascended masters that came here to teach about the messages of love and healing.
Right.
And then religion took it and
Screwed it up. Yes. Made it
well,
fearful. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I know.
and so
Mm.
it's not really about not being a sinner, it's about going inside and doing the inner journey,
Right.
which
Right.
is so anyway,
And
that
what I really love is he calibrates all the different religions and different emotions and everything else when he does that kind of energy work.
yeah.
And it's just, my husband's a chiropractor, and like you, is an energy worker, and he can relate to that so well. He says it really does make a difference what path you're following. You're following a spiritual path, that's
Okay.
fine. But the other things, like I think it had a couple of things really, really low, really, like it was low vibration stuff. So anyway,
Hmm.
yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, Lee Sneedermeyer says this is overwhelming with wanting to learn these topics I didn't even know existed. I understand. And I would say probably it's taken me, I don't know, 30 years to learn as many things as I have learned over time. And I'm sure Sybil can say the same. It isn't something you can pick up all just, instantaneously. So how long have you been on the path, Sybil?
Oh, which lifetime?
How about this one? We'll start there.
In this life, well, I started seeing spirits as a child. I
Okay.
saw the nature spirits.
Uh-huh.
And I heard them, and I was just outside from the minute I got home from school, shoes off, and I was outside till it was dark.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
just, I loved being in nature. And when I was 7, the sun talked to me and told me I was not alone. And I'm just a little kid, so I was like, well, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds fine to me.
Uh-huh.
That was normal. And I started seeing past lives where I was on islands with dolphins and connected to my name, which means the seer. Actually,
Right.
it's a title. It's not really a name because I always felt like, why did I have that name? But anyway, so I started getting past lives, and then I kind of got away from that and started doing my life like we do, getting
Right.
married, having
Right.
kids, and having, and what I started realizing is that my life wasn't really working. I was actually not feeling very well and was
Uh-huh.
ended up being diagnosed with chronic fatigue, which means they have no diagnose.
Right.
It means that I was just empathically absorbing everybody's stuff. And when I was younger, I could deal with it more, but as I started to get older and it started to
Oh,
accumulate, I was less able to, I just felt tired. I didn't feel well. I got all these weird different ailments that were hard to diagnose. And I started looking for, like, okay, what's going on with me? And then I started thinking, after my divorce, why am I here?
right.
Who am I?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
so, I guess in my late 30s, I went back. I traveled, I studied with some different teachers. I traveled around the world and worked with some shamans and healers. And I saw
Ooh.
stuff that I was like, I didn't think that could happen. Like, how could
Uh-huh.
that happen?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it can.
Yeah.
And it's just what it taught me was about faith and
Sure.
energy. And I started feeling like, okay, this is my path. And so then
Hmm.
I started purposely doing healings and readings rather than just trying to help people or absorbing their stuff or being a people pleaser, which I was. And
Right.
so I learned how to set boundaries, what
Good.
my energy. I actually wrote a book about, where's my book? It's here somewhere. Um, I wanted to do like a 500-page volumes 1, 2, and 3 of everything you ever wanted to know about psychic development and
Oh my goodness. You'd
healing.
be writing that for a few years.
No, for your first book, you're going to have about 300 pages. So I put some stories in there, and I have some diagrams and things about some of the things that I've learned and that I do. And so
Mhm.
it's a really fun
Yep.
book
Yep.
with teachings about the chakra system, the energy body, how to connect
Good.
with guides, who are your guides, and
Hmm.
all those types of fun things. So I did that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've been doing this to answer your question. You asked me a question, and I'll give you a whole story. So,
That's all right. I don't mind.
but yeah, I've been
Right.
doing
Yeah.
this, I guess, for over 20 years, where
Okay.
I've formally been in practice in Northern
Uh-huh.
California
Okay.
and helping people.
Hmm.
And then what happened when I started doing readings and healings, people's deceased loved ones started showing up. So I'm
Sure.
like, okay. And I did
They got
do
a captive audience.
And I
Yeah.
did do some training in mediumship. I mean, like, I'd go to sleep at night and there'd be like 5 or 6 people in my room after I taught a class. And I'm like, okay, why are all these people? I'm like, I couldn't sleep. I'm like, everyone needs to be quiet and go away. I'm trying to
Right. I
sleep.
need a break here. Yeah.
And
That's
so I had
funny.
to learn how to set, once again, really good boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I'm open, I'm open. Otherwise, it's just like, they know, the spirit world knows.
They
But
do.
anyway, I'm able to help people with mediumship and connect, and it's a wonderful gift. So I
It is.
love doing that as well.
Uh-huh.
So it's just been like an amazing ride, an
Amazing ride.
amazing
Yeah. Yeah.
awakening. And I went through a really big awakening, like right before COVID.
Uh-huh.
And if you go through, like, if someone passes, or you go through a divorce, or you end a career, or it could just be an easy one. More, it doesn't have to be intense like mine, because I'm a healer. I always have to do the most intense, dramatic things. Like, God, what
Why do
is
we
this
have
about? Where I'm like
it's
holding
like
on
you're
to.
earning your keep, huh? You're earning your keep.
Yeah, you could have an awakening that's like, why am I here? Or what are we doing here? Or who am I? And
Right.
those are questions that people start to ask when they're like, consciousness is awakening. And I know it's a
Right.
buzz term now. Like, people are like, oh, those are the woke, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Oh
But
yeah,
what
I
does
know.
that
That drives
mean?
me
It
crazy.
means using your brain. It means being
Yeah.
more aware. It means advancing and evolving, which is why we're here, not to
Uh-huh.
just be, you know,
Yep.
sitting
I
in
do.
the, I don't know how you describe it, but we're here to evolve and grow. And it just, for a lot of people, it happens naturally. Some people
Mhm.
have, like Linda G had an illness.
I know. Yeah.
Her
Yep.
awakening of,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And so,
Yeah.
anyway, okay.
In mine, it's been uh, an awakening, and then life, and then an awakening, and then life, and
Okay.
finally an
Yeah.
awakening again. Yeah.
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 So it
Yeah.
can happen like that
Anyway,
too. It
it
happens
can.
over many lifetimes,
It
actually.
does. I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's really why we're here, to evolve our
Correct.
consciousness.
Hmm.
And yeah. So when
And
did
learn
you
and
first
grow.
start?
Yeah.
When did you first start being aware
Oh,
of it?
I was in high school,
Oh,
1970s, and then later on, in the 80s, I started getting involved with martial arts. Believe it or not, that brought me into a lot. Yeah, I was
oh,
a black belt, a brown belt in karate for a
oh
while.
my
But then I
God.
got hurt. Now I just
Oh,
want to bring this up because um, Sweet and Salty and Lily Pond both mentioned they have fibromyalgia, and it was like when you said you had chronic fatigue and that you're taking in everything, and they're saying they're emotionally I have this. I have fibromyalgia, and I never really put it into context that it's
mm-hmm.
because I'm an empath. No wonder
Right,
why I have it, you know.
right.
um so, but I guess we can work with that if we know what we're dealing with. But I had that karate, and then really got involved in the 90s with channeling and dream analysis and
Oh,
rocks, crystals, and
okay.
UFO stuff and all that. And then it wasn't again until probably well, it was right when Trump got in. I was just, oh my God, I can't do this. I just can't do
Uh,
this. And
yeah,
I came on to watch Susan and Linda G and a bunch of other people to help me through it. And I know so many people have said the same thing. And
yeah.
then everything sort of came back and started working again. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know. And so when I hadn't moved out of my house for 3 years. I just stay home all the time. I work from home. I don't go anywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
then this summer, I decided to go see my best friend because we used to get together every summer. And then when I
Yeah.
came back, I had COVID. So it's almost like, oh God, because I had never had a problem with it before that. And so
Yeah, you look
yeah,
good.
I feel so fabulous. I do. I feel
Yeah,
fabulous.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really
The
do.
thing
So,
with energy healing is you can't really, once you get a cold or flu, you
mhm.
can't really do a lot. You can help the person lessen,
Right.
but unless you
Right.
get, like if you break your leg, you need to go to the doctors. And no
That's
energy
right.
medicine is instead of the doctors, but
Correct.
I'm
Yeah.
not a doctor, but I do the energy. But you
Well,
look
it's
much
the
better.
same way.
Yep.
It's the same way with my husband. He's a chiropractor, but he knew somebody tore their sacrum, and he can't fix that. It has to be done by
Yeah.
with an operation. But he said, I just know there's something wrong, and they did an MRI, and the person's sacrum was torn.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
he's very intuitive, but like you can only do so much, and then you have to let it go to the people that can fix it if
Okay.
there's something physically wrong.
Where is he and where are you? Where is he practicing and where are you?
He's up on Whidbey Island.
Where?
He's Whidbey Island, Whidbey. Um,
Okay.
yeah, in Washington State. And
Okay.
my house where I'm living is about 3 hours south because I teach down here. So we only see each other on weekends. Except he got COVID and we got to spend some time together. So that was kind of nice,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, Lise, you said you have the cycle of spirituality in the day-to-day life, then back to you. Yeah, I don't know. I never wanted to move away from my spirituality, and I don't think I ever moved completely away from it. But sometimes I felt like everything else overwhelmed what I had to do. And so that took away from being in that spiritual,
Yeah.
community or that sense. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't want it to overwhelm you, because I remember I used to think, when I first started meditating, when I was supposed to meditate, an hour a day, No, because you
Right.
also have we need to act as if the physical world is real because we live in
We live
bodies,
in it.
we live in a
Yeah.
physical world. So you don't,
Right.
becoming overwhelmed or thinking, beating yourself up because you haven't got it all, because you're never going to get it all anyway.
Right.
So just enjoy where you are, enjoy your
Good.
day, and connect and find the ways that make you feel
That
good
makes
to
sense.
connect or learn
Hmm.
and watching shows like this, certainly following along, or
Yeah.
and is you'll be I usually start my day with meditation and prayer. Okay,
Hmm.
just simple, okay, hover over me or guide me, and then I'll get, then synchronistic things will start to happen and you'll
Sure.
feel like, oh, okay. Yeah, but you don't need to be being overwhelmed is not just the
No,
energy
I know.
kind of
You're right.
overwhelming. It
Yeah,
kind of is.
it
Here's a
is.
card I pulled, cleansing negative energy, releasing negative energy so that positive energy shines through. It's
Hmm.
an African
Okay.
medicine card.
I like that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's
There's
exactly
no
it.
reason to be overwhelmed because there's enough reason and stuff going on. It's like the energy can be just
Right.
overwhelming.
Be
Okay.
too much. Well, sweet and salty, I've heard this from other people that they have shut their abilities down because it's overwhelming. But I think I might even be the word fear, because
Hmm.
even though there's really nothing to fear, people start seeing things or hearing things or whatever it is that they're surrounded by, and they think, "Oh my God," and they shut that right down. They don't want to see it anymore, and so that can also do that. Well, you're introverted, you say. Okay, all right. You may be overwhelmed with sweet and salty. You may be just overwhelmed by being out there, because that I can't go into a mall. I'm like a sponge.
Hmm. Yeah,
I get all the yeah.
I don't like going in big groups because the energy, even if I go to a downtown intersection, like I
Yeah.
like staying over in the more countryside of town. And
Yep.
even when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, whoa. So number one, set boundaries.
Uh-huh.
Because if you say no to a person when you want to say no, like, no, I don't want to make dinner tonight, or I don't want to go over there. When you say no, you're setting an energy boundary as
That's
well.
right. Yep.
I
Yep.
also have these are this is black tourmaline.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I'll just put it in my pocket.
Right. Or
Um,
shungite. You could put
yeah,
shungite in.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like using a crystal. And
Right.
then make sure that you get grounded, spend time in nature,
Right.
have enough sunlight or sometimes even moonlight, but sunlight or watching a sunset will help you naturally relax and your chakras naturally shut down. But
Uh-huh.
then I also, every night, I take a bath or a shower with salt. If
There
you're
you go.
really sensitive or if you're working with people, go take a salt bath.
Right.
There's
Right.
actually an exorcism bath, which is a cup or more of sea salt, a cup or more of Epsom salt, um, 2 to 6 drops of frankincense, myrrh, and
Ooh.
sandalwood. That will
Okay.
clear it. And then if you make it real hot, you'll be tired afterwards. You'll fall asleep probably.
Fall asleep.
Then you want to rinse it off. If you just make it lukewarm, you won't be so
I
tired.
understand. Yep.
But then you just sit there, get it all over you, and you just. Some people say sit for 20 minutes. Sometimes I'm like, I'm bored. I want to get out. But
Yeah.
rinse it all off, and it's a wonderful clearing. The other thing I do in my house is I burn sage because I have teenagers here and different energies. In this
Uh,
neighborhood, it's a very spiritually active neighborhood I live in. And
okay.
so, and I'm doing this work and I'm a medium. So I burn my sage and I
Uh-huh.
take a salt shower. So there's a lot of things you can do to protect yourself energetically,
That's right.
grounding and meditating. And then it, understanding that if you're around someone who's really negative or big crowds of people, well, if you have like a relative who's, you don't want to get into arguments with them because it'll just drain you.
It will. Yep.
Arguments with people
Energy
about
vampire.
or
Yeah.
something. Don't
Uh-huh.
even say that name. I mean, 45 cancer. Okay. And if you look them straight in the eye, then the energy moves in a straight line. So you want to sit sideways, put a purse
Oh.
or crystal or maybe even a car or a house between, like tell them, I'll meet you there. Or you want to be in that case, if you have somebody who's particularly negative in your family, you would want more people there so they won't be just focused on you.
Right.
Then you bring your crystal and you take a shower afterwards. But for the holidays are coming.
I was just going to say, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have to deal with that. Probably most of us do, and it's not easy. So yeah, that's great information. Thank you. That's wonderful. So I just want to mention MJ, your work. She's working on her presentation for her brother's memorial event. And I just want to wish you well with that, MJ. I'm sorry that your brother passed, but he's with you. But I just want you to know that we're with you as well. So I just want to give you that. Okay. Chris M says, and my wife thinks I'm crazy for feeling that way and not wanting to go out. Understood. Yeah. Why don't you want to go anywhere? Why do you want to stay home? Yes. I understand. We do understand. So yeah, let's see. Ann Simpson uses yogic practices such as breathing techniques and prana.
Very good.
Yeah. A yoga session with a long guided meditation. I find too that, and I was talking on earlier when I had a show this morning, that the breathing exercises put me in an altered state as well. Because if I'm doing the deep breathing and I'm moving that prana, then I notice it. I feel it's almost like you feel high.
It's the number one best thing you can do is breathing to protect yourself. Yeah, I forgot that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I find that I get more from that than I do just meditating in a quiet way if I put the breathing in with it. When I've done QHHT with a friend of mine who does that, I've been able to access past lives because I'm doing that heavy breathing and I'm really moving into that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. It really is. Yep. Ground and center is what you personally have to make a habit of doing, Chris M. Yes, it is something you have to think about. It maybe even put it on a list. Ground, center, make sure you do this. Put it on there just like you would. Got to do the laundry today, or whatever. So Lee says, some say I'm an empath, a sponge, but I wish I could go out and meet people. I hate being alone. I don't drive. As you can tell, I love these communities. Thank God for these communities, honestly. I think so many of us, I was just talking to a colleague a few minutes before the show, and she doesn't want to go back to this classroom either. And she's a full-time person. I'm only a part-time person. She said, I like being home. I don't want to go back. And I think a lot of us that worked at home during COVID, if we have a choice, we don't want to go out and really do much. So it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So let's see. I really wanted you guys to ask some questions that were more general and not as much personal, but that's all right. I'll take a couple of them that I have here. I also want to ask Sybil a little bit. She does do politics. That's something that you just started doing within the last few years, right?
Yes.
Yes. And is it like, did it come to you and knock on your door, so to speak?
I felt, so in my training, I was taught that you never bring up politics because we're here to help everyone and we don't want to alienate anyone. True. And I think that's generally true.
It is.
But this is different now. Mm-hmm. And I used to watch Linda G and people on there, and it just helped me because I felt like I was on a roller. When 45 won, I cried for 24 hours. And
we all did, Sybil.
He'll be impeached. And then I was like, okay. And so, but when the war in Ukraine happened, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I just felt really, I felt like it reminded me of World War II and the bravery and the watching those brave people over there and the children and the animals and everybody. I was just like, that's it. I don't care if some people don't like it. I'm going to do my part to pitch in and help.
Good.
And so that's why I started being more vocal, because before that, I was just doing newsletters on YouTube and spiritual.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And I don't really always do political stuff myself. I watch a lot of it. I watch Susan, I watch Linda, I watch people that have posted stuff, because like you, I and my husband, we were home with COVID, with, the lockdown, and all we kept seeing was, this lunatic. And we thought, oh, good, he'll go away eventually. Well, he hasn't gone away yet. I mean, this just keeps
He
going and
will.
going.
He's
Yeah.
done. Done. He will.
Would it stick a fork in it? He's done. Yeah.
Probably by like December, you'll see more. I mean, there's so many cases.
Okay.
And then after the GOP loses the midterms, which I feel like they will.
You're not the only one. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, and then I feel like in December and by next year, but it's kind of like the damage was already done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The damage has been done to a lot of things.
Yeah, and autocrats in other countries, and there's it's like this it's almost like we're in two different worlds. The awakened,
Yes.
more intelligent, like, because even if you listen to Democrat news, they'll explain issues and talk about things and have feelings. Whereas
Right.
if once in a while I put on the other stations for entertainment purposes only, these are just
Right.
my impressions and thought, they don't really explain things. They just try to scare you and tell you, hate those people and they're all jerks or something. And I'm like, they didn't even say anything. I'm like, what are they talking about? It just,
well, it's, that has to do with Ronald Reagan. Actually, when Reagan was in office, it used to be that you had to have fair and equal reporting. So you'd have like point counterpoint. I know it's a joke on Saturday Night Live, but you had to have a point counterpoint. So you have this side talk and then this side talk, and then you make up your mind, you see. But in 1981, they got rid of that. And ever since, we've had nothing but one-sided BS for the most part, especially on the right-wing shows. You don't have to, like, Fox News is not news. It's talk shows. It's just people's opinions is all
propaganda.
It really is. Propaganda. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, that I didn't really know that for the longest time. And it was during the Reagan administration when this just all went away. We need to put it back in place. People need to know that there are there's consequences for how people talk about things. I think it's very important.
Yeah. I think that was huge. The way that guy that was lying about, I don't even want to say his name, that got what was it, almost $1 billion lost because he was lying about the shootings at
Right.
Sandy
Oh, yes. The Ding-a-ling Jones.
And then that voting company being sued, suing big news corporations. I think these are the beginnings of, like, you know what? That's not really okay.
Yeah, really. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't really okay, and they're still being propagated, but we've got to just, hope and believe that things are gonna, but you're right, it has damaged it. It has damaged us. It has. This January 6th damaged us as a country. There's just some bad juju out there that's around us. So,
yeah, and it's hard when you're really sensitive, but I have learned to step back and kind of detach. And I also know that it's really going to be okay. That this is just, we live in a world of dichotomies of left and right.
That's right.
Good and bad, dark and light. And there's supposed to be, maybe not this much. This is an intense time, but it's not always going to be like this. And it's kind of like when you're getting out of a bad relationship, the most dangerous time is right before. But this is going on for a long time.
This
but
is just
really are going to a good place. I know that.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to. It's kind of like detach from it. Like I can. It takes a lot of ability to watch all this and look at this or live in it,
right?
And not be
and detach from it, right?
And not be, hysterical or on an antidepressant or can't sleep or something like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
very difficult, but it's really super important to take good care of yourself. Like you said, being centered, being breathing.
Mhm.
Breathing
Right.
is a wonderful way to relax. And
And
don't,
take a news diet for a while. That's the other thing. Take a
there
news
you go.
diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
be a victim to being on a
Right.
roller coaster ride because it'll wear you out.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It definitely will. Um, wow. Wiki says it also has to do with the networks changing their budgets, putting news under entertainment. That's true. Do
Oh,
you
okay.
know that CNN was just bought by a right-wing guy, and that's why they dumped a lot of people. They
Yeah.
dumped a lot of people, and they're revamping it so that it's more right. Yeah, it's more to the right than to the left. Not
Huh.
that, yeah, I know. And but here's another thing I thought of as we were going through COVID, and orangutan was not, even saying that it was true, and let's inject ourselves and let's do all this other crap. Um, and all the people that kept dying, they just kept dying because they weren't even considered. Actually,
Mhm.
I always thought he should be responsible for mass death.
Yeah.
That's
Where
what
did
I
you
thought.
do that?
Huh?
Well, the thing is, the Justice Department is even getting universities to do some surveys and studies, and they used the January 6th committee and got if
Right.
they're almost overwhelmed because a lot of the 45 people were inundated in the Secret Service, in the FBI, even
Yeah.
in the military, and they've
Mhm.
almost been overwhelmed with the amount of how many cases and investigations that you can have. But I do feel like that was huge. I personally feel, because I got COVID, it's real.
Right. You
I
got
got
it in the beginning.
severe
Yeah.
COVID when
Mhm.
45 knew it was here, but they were doing inside trading and he didn't want the stock market to drop or something, so they didn't say anything.
Right.
But I had it, and I was like, I was basically sat in a chair in bed for 8 weeks. And I wrote goodbye letters to my family. I
I
could
believe it.
hardly breathe. I called Kaiser and they said, "Well, if you feel like you're going to pass out, come in." And I'm like, "I can't drive in. How am I going to come in?"
Really?
And I
Right.
had my sister and friends drop off groceries at the door because I knew they shouldn't be around me. I just
Right.
intuitively knew, like, you don't want this.
Right.
And right before it, I felt like something bad's going to happen. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
I felt
Yeah.
like something really not right is about to happen.
Yeah.
And that week, I had a crow drop dead in my front walkway, just drop over dead, a
Wow.
blue jay that drowned in a bucket in the backyard, and then a hawk flew into my car and was probably killed. So I'm like, something is about to happen.
Omens.
I kept
Yeah.
saying, yeah,
Ooh.
because I get
Yeah.
messages from nature. I kept
Sure.
saying, I I feel like I'm dying and I don't know why. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm dying. And I had this giant puppy who was eating the house up, and that morning I started to get really sick. I was like, there's no way I can take care of this dog. So I got in
Right.
my car and drove him down to the doggy daycare.
Uh-huh.
And when I was
Uh-huh.
doing that, I looked up in this tree and I saw all these vultures who are my animal totems and my
Yeah.
protectors. And they
Wow.
said to me, "You will live through this." And I was like, okay, wait a minute. That sounds like something's not very good is about to happen. And I
Right.
held on to that because I thought that I was going to die. I mean, it's no joke. It wasn't, this was, once you have the vaccine and now that it's kind of, I mean, it's still, you have to be careful.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
But
I
yeah,
didn't
and
have any vaccine. I didn't even know what it was, but they
and
knew.
Hypnicity also got it before there was a test for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. My friend Mary got it. I think she got it in Christmas time before the January, so in 2019. And
Yeah.
she was told she had pneumonia, and she was very, very sick for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I
And it
had
was
no voice.
probably
I
COVID.
couldn't talk. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But, and then they wouldn't make, he just pushed it off like it was not a very big deal. But of course it was a big deal.
Yeah. I
But the
got it
longer,
January 12th. of
Uh-huh. Oh,
2020.
wow.
And people,
Okay.
when I called Kaiser, I told them I had COVID. They said, no, you couldn't have it then. And I'm like, yes, I did.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially if you're psychic and
Yeah.
you had it. It did shift everyone's energy, and it made us also sensitive to other energies. I think the thing that bothers me the most about it is that there are somewhere around 3 to 4, maybe even more, a million people who have long COVID,
Okay.
and they're going to be needing disability because they can't. I
They're
have a
going
friend who
what?
they're going to need disability.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
because I have a friend, actually, she's a 7th grade English teacher, language arts in Georgia. She got COVID like you in the very beginning, no shot or anything. And she has had long COVID ever since. So she's had long COVID. She's had COVID for 24 months or
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And she gets up in the morning and she goes to the bathroom and she has to go back to bed for 3 hours. She
Oh,
can't put her
wow.
garbage out. She can't go shopping. She can't do anything. She's
Oh my
completely
God.
exhausted. Yeah. And there supposedly are other people that are dealing with that as well. And if that becomes an epidemic, we're going to have an awful lot of people that are going to have to start taking disability, because how are they going to live if
Yeah.
they have no
Yeah.
money? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Really.
really want to vote in those people that
Yes.
support social programs and
Yeah.
those types of things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous that the Republicans are saying that we're the economy people. I'm like, really, what did they ever do? Ever?
They
Except
always crash the economy. They've
the,
always crashed it. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
wreck it, and then the Democrats get in. Now it's
Come back
taking
and fix it.
years to get
Right.
it back together
I
after that
know.
COVID thing, and then they're still sitting there saying, "Oh, they made the gas prices high." Really? They're high all over the world.
They are.
It's
Everything is,
it's
and
not
we're
what
dealing with inflation everywhere. That's right.
Biden's doing everything he can to get the gas prices down and
Correct.
other inflation. It's not. It's
Yep.
absolutely ridiculous baloney.
Well, the other things I had written down a few things, because if they got elected in, they want to get rid of Social Security. They want to get rid of Medicare. They want to stop funding the Ukraine war. They want to get rid of Roe v. Wade completely. They want to investigate Garland. They want to impeach Biden. They want to close the borders. They're going to stop in vitro fertilization. They want to get rid of DACA, and they want to get rid of gay marriage. So why would anybody not go out and vote for
And
people who
burn
don't want?
books. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know. Yeah.
it's just I see Val Demings winning.
Good.
I was looking at Warnock and
Oh, Herschel Walker. Yeah.
that guy, oh my God. And I was like, I was worried because I'm watching the news saying that, oh, they're almost close. I'm like, how could they even be close? Well, what my guides were showing me that uh Warnock is what's his name? Walker, the
Oh,
football guy.
yeah.
It's just a prop, like he's this cardboard prop. And then after the election, I looked around and I'm like, it's just a cardboard, like it's just going to go poof and fall over. He doesn't have anything.
Oh, he doesn't. And
He didn't talk down
he didn't want to have a conversation with, because he can't speak. He can't, and that's when he whipped out the police badge.
barely put sentences
Can't put it
together. I'm
in.
like, oh my God.
When your own son goes on and says what a loser you are, I think that's a pretty bad thing.
Yeah.
His own son did that.
Yeah, and they're even on there saying we don't care because those socialist Democrats. Well, there's another talking point that came in Reagan or something. Like, what is socialism? It's not. We're not trying to be a communist country. It's like, what is a library, school, social
Right.
security,
Who fixes the roads? Right. Yeah.
All these things are social programs.
Well, and then they voted against them, and then they went to Biden and asked for money for a social program for, like, to fix their bridge and they're telling their constituents that they voted for it, but they didn't. They didn't vote for it, but they want the money.
Yeah.
I know. It's all really crazy. Chris says, I'm anxious to see what the 22nd brings to us all. This month, Chris? Is that what you're talking about? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know.
It's the lunar eclipse.
Oh, the lunar eclipse. Okay, what's
Solar
gonna?
eclipse. So
Okay,
solar eclipse is a super new moon. It's
okay,
a really great new beginning time. It's a time when you can make breakthroughs. So if you're
okay.
stuck in the old energy and you're looking at that thinking like, wow, it can feel like that, but it can also be a really nice time to have new beginnings, to have breakthroughs, to make
Right.
changes in how you do things or your healthcare or getting grounded, doing breathing.
Sure. Making a choice to do something good for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I even feel like things coming together. And for some reason, I pulled this card, like couples working things out or new
Okay.
relationships. So
Okay.
there's a lot of new energy coming in
Good. Good.
that can happen in. I also have these cards, which isn't really, I could pull a card on that for this.
Okay, go right ahead.
This deck is, my mother gave me this deck. I don't even know who it's made by. Rob Shoughton. It's a
Oh, I know him.
Oh, you
He's
do?
on Whidbey. He's on Whidbey Island. He's the most visionary artist I have ever met.
Look at that.
And yes, and I told him that he was that. Look at the Buddha. He did these paintings. He's wonderful.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah.
this is an amazing deck. I don't even know where you can
It
buy
is?
it anymore.
It's the power deck is what it's called. Yeah, and it's very old from the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, because I lost the box. My mother gave it to me, and she's
That's
since
okay.
passed away.
Yeah.
But this card for the 20 seconds says centering. Never leave your center. Count your bad points as well as your good. What is good and what is bad are most often purely relative. If you sense a weakness within yourself, explore it. It may become the source of your greatest strength. As you sit like the sacred Buddha amid the paradigm of your life, always remember that your situation or a person who has the ability to upset you the most, to pull you off center, is your greatest teacher in
That's
the
right.
process of centering. There you go.
Absolutely.
Center yourself in power and release the need for constant distraction from your center. So don't let this election, because it's a nail biter. It's like, a lot of people
But
are
is it really?
worried.
One of the things I want everybody to know is that the polls that they're doing are being done by people who answer the phone. Who answers the phone? Old people. Sorry, they do. Young people don't answer the phone. Young people are not. Yeah, they're not part of this poll. Yeah. Unless they get texted to, but I don't even know if they'd respond to it. So the young people are the ones that are going to pull us over again, just like they did in the last election, and they're not being polled. So, yeah. Very. Okay, so do you see Lake or Hobbs in Arizona?
Oh boy. Let's ask.
Okay. All right.
Because that's not one. I looked at Beto. I feel like if Beto doesn't win this, he's going to go on to do something amazing.
Oh, he's
international.
fabulous. I
He
agree.
is amazing. He has the energy of Abraham Lincoln with him. I actually saw Abraham Lincoln with him. He's amazing energy. And I know he's been working his patoot off down there, but he is such a bright light. But I do feel like he'll win. If he doesn't, he's going to do something else great. Okay. But Lake, show me, will Lake win? That would be probably not. Will Hobbs win? Will Hobbs win Arizona governor? Wow, that's a big yes.
That's wonderful. Because this Carrie Lake, she's really bad news.
That's crazy. Yeah. They said, will you concede if you don't win? And she said, I'll win.
I'm going to win. Yeah, I know.
I'm going to answer the question.
Definitely. Yeah, I love Beto. I love Stacey Abrams. If I see her, who was it? I think it was Linda told me that she saw Stacey Abrams as a possible presidential candidate. She didn't see Kamala as much as she saw Stacey.
I think if Biden ended up next term stepping down or something, Kamala would take over. But Stacey Abrams has the energy of like George Washington with her. She's very stately. She has
She
this
is.
presence.
Yeah. She's
And
smart
what
too.
an amazing reincarnation. Come back as a young Black woman fighting for
No,
the right
I know.
people. But she
You're
has
absolutely
that type of either that or it looks like Frederick Douglass. She's
Mhm.
no mistake to be in politics, and she's a powerful force.
She is a powerful force. I agree.
So
My husband loves her. Yeah. Yeah. I wish her well. Wow. Yep. And Kemp is not he's just anyway.
They're saying that she'll win. Now
I
Kemp,
know.
I think he's not for abortion.
Oh, all these governors
don't do anything for anybody. What does he do?
I know.
He didn't overturn the government. Oh, okay.
No, that's true. The deck Hypnicity is called the Power Deck actually it's Lynn Andrews, I believe, and Schouten is the artist in there. So just so you know. There was something I saw that I wanted to ask here. I love that. I'm old. I don't answer the phone. I don't answer the phone either, but I only have a cell phone. So let's see. Oh, who has RFK energy too? Are you talking about Beto? That's possible. Yeah.
He has RFK. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one. What about Chris Jones in Arkansas? Will he defeat Sarah Huckabee? I didn't know that.
So.
No. Arkansas.
Let's ask. I could be wrong. Things can change.
I know.
We still have a couple weeks out, but what about Chris Jones? Will Chris Jones win governor of Arkansas? I was a little shy. Will Sarah Huckabee? It's a red state.
No.
I feel like not by a lot, but I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I know she's really just.
There's so many of them that are iffy. They're really iffy. But at the same time, I agree with you and Linda and Susan when you talked about the fact that hopefully that the Democrats are going to take it. And I hope so. I hope people will get out there and vote. Now, I have to tell you about what happened in Florida. I saw it on the news last night. And, I call him DeSatan, the governor of Florida. And what happened was they voted that if you had non-felony and you served your time in prison, you could then vote. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
So these 3 or 4 people, somebody did an undercover thing, and the cops were arresting the people that were given the permission to vote, telling them they didn't have permission to vote. And they're giving them a $5,000 fine and telling them that they committed another felony and that did because DeSantis says that he didn't agree with that. So, it makes people not want to vote either.
Yeah, I feel like DeSatan did that. He thinks it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
It was. So let me ask, was that a setup?
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
To scare people. Yeah.
And he's the one, of course, that sent all the people over to Martha's Vineyard, and he did all this other. They're checking on him. About the Department of Treasury is checking on him. How about Pete Buttigieg? Any energy around Pete? I love him.
Well, young people connect with him.
Yeah.
He's got that young energy. I feel like he definitely stays in government, and he may be a Secretary of State or a senator. I feel like he's going to do some really good things.
Good. I think so too.
At some point, a vice president or something could be very intelligent and a really good energy.
Yeah. Linda calls him bootylicious. I love that.
Okay.
So Do you think that Biden will step down in the middle of, I mean, from the energy, I realize it's just the energy that you're feeling today. That may not be the energy of
I feel like
4 years
all these
from now.
people need to be careful. And even right after the elections, it's not going to be settled right away. They're going to want to do recounts.
I know.
People are just not going to walk away and go, okay, we lost. They're going to be sore losers. They're going to cause all kinds of problems or some lawsuits and stuff. Maybe not for a long time, but they're definitely going to cause problems. Now, Biden is, I see him, I mean, some people are worried about him, but I see him like retiring. He really wants to be with his grandkids and be at home. And he just really stepped in to save our country. And
He did.
Thank God he did.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yep. And first when I saw him, I was like, really? Is that the best? And then I was like, wow, look at the light around him. And look, so because he can walk both sides. He's been around a long time. He knows how to do everything. He knows everybody.
Look what he's got passed. He's got so much stuff passed. Yeah.
Even with those guys obstructing him in the Senate, he's done so much. He supported Ukraine, which is really, they're fighting with guns and bombs. We're fighting the same war with misinformation here. And in politics.
We are.
It's the same war. Okay. It's the same type of energy, those types of energy. So anyway, I don't like, he could, I mean, that could happen where he decides in the middle of if he wins a second term, which I think he very well could, because people are going to really like what he does. I don't know that he completes that whole term.
I get it. No, I get it.
I don't see anything bad happening to him. I just feel like it's almost like I'm tired.
I don't know how he does it. He's like 13 or 14 years older than I am.
Yeah.
And I get tired just doing what I do.
I mean, he could have a mild health care scare or something that just causes him to go, which would be the best thing that he could do, because he just has a lot of light around him. I just feel like he's really, sometimes I feel like I wish he would go a little farther.
Yeah.
He's so precious. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
that's a good
person that we needed to come in here, and because even Republicans, like, they know who he is. They know he's not a boogeyman. They try to clean him out that way, but I'm like, come on,
I know.
Not,
So I'll put this one up, but in a minute. But how about the Jordans? Jordan Gates, Taylor Green. Are they going to get? Are they going to get their? Are they going to get pushed out? I hope because of what they did on 1/6.
Okay, I'm not that familiar with Jordan.
Oh no. Okay.
Wait, Jim. He is him. That guy. Okay.
He's the one that was the wrestling coach that didn't.
Oh yeah. I know who that is. I know who that is. The insurrection.
Okay.
He's not going to be able to hold a seat even if he wins, because a lot of them are going to get ousted. Excuse me, sir. We have some questions for you. They're not going to stay in office.
Good.
Okay. So will Jordan win?
No, I don't think he's even running, but I just wonder if I don't know if these people.
Good, because I wasn't getting a yes, or I was getting like a. Okay. So is Taylor
Green, I think, is she's running against a guy named Marcus.
That's a really red area of Georgia that I hear.
I know.
Is she going to win?
She is unreal.
Oh my God. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Is she going to stay in office? I don't think so.
She's part of the problem. Yeah.
No, I don't think she did some stuff. Look at that. She's going to be in legal trouble. Whoa, look at that.
Did you hear her husband just tanked?
How strong that is?
Yes.
Oh my God. She's not going to stay there.
Yeah.
So I feel like she may win the re-election, but I don't feel like she'll stay there.
She won't be able to last.
And who was the other one you asked about?
Matt Gaetz. He's the one that was with the young girls. Yeah. Pedo man. Yeah.
Is he running?
I don't know if he might be. He might be running. No? Okay.
I haven't seen it, because I'm sure we'd hear about him.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
all
don't
right.
feel like, is he going to stay in office?
For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, these are my thoughts and impressions only.
Yeah.
And for entertainment purposes only, I'm getting a no on him staying in office. He's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Like there's a little wiggle room over there, but probably I'm getting like I'm seeing a boot going, you
Bye.
You're getting the boot.
Well, he did get in a lot of trouble for being with girls under the age of 18. So, but nothing's really been done there yet. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Nancy would like to know if Laura Kelly will be reelected as governor of Kansas. I can tell you this. Kansas really impressed me. The women in Kansas impressed me because they voted to keep Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
So will Laura Kelly be reelected? People, I'm hearing this song. Now that I found you, I can't let you go.
Oh.
Now, is she pro-abortion?
I don't know if she is.
I'm getting a yes on her that she's going to stay. Yeah, reelected. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hearing that song, baby. Now that
I found you, I can
go.
Yeah.
We're not going to let her go.
That's cool. I hear songs all the time like that. I do. All right. So we're almost up at we are right at an hour. I'm going to just give you a couple of questions then about somebody asked a question about their past lives. They wonder if you can tell them anything about them. I don't know.
I need to know your name.
Okay. So you need a name, not just sweet and salty. You'll need a first name, right?
I need to see a name.
Okay.
I am picking up on the energy and I'm seeing some kind of Middle Eastern, like where you have the saris or the almost like veils and
Sherry.
Oh, Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Yeah, I'm seeing her as like a beautiful young woman in like almost like the remember the belly dancing outfits where they wore those pants and had the cast. I'm seeing like with a
Arabian sort of,
not so over the face, but yeah, I'm seeing her like that. And she looks very happy and kind of a celebration. Like I feel like she might have been happy in love and just really enjoying her life. It was a good life. It was a happy life. So I'm seeing that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Now, this lady here, Thayer Hutchinson, works with me on my Medium show on Thursdays. She's been trying to buy a house in New Mexico, but she hasn't found one yet. She just wonders if she's ever going to find one or what you see about that.
What's the tragedy? I'm picking up on something that happened. There's something that either happened with a house or finding a house. Is it because I'm hearing that Bee Gees song, like there's something that's still affecting her. Was there so it feels like once that gets cleared, like write it down and bury it or like it feels like a new beginning, this new moon, but it feels like there's something. I'm not sure if is it from a past life? No, it's from this life. Something either with the house or is it with the house? It's with her that she's wanting to clear and let go of so that she can have a real new fresh start. But I do feel like, will she find it? When? Oh, the question is when. Will it be in October? Will it be in November? Quite possibly December. Yeah. November, December, January. No, I feel like it's saying November, December. It's not really very far away.
No, it isn't.
Usually people don't house shop, so there might be more because they're doing the holidays.
Oh, there might be more available then. Yeah. That's very true.
Sometimes it's just the right place, and you can make a vision board, or you can say, if I don't get this one, it's going to be this or something better. And get that good, do your
Yes.
law of attraction, get that good vibe. Like, I know I'm finding the right place for me, a really great place, a place that I love, an amazing place, a place I can afford, a place where I can raise my family and feel good, and, you know, all like that. Yeah. So just keep that vibe going. She'll find it. She'll find it.
I think what you might have been picking up on, Sybil, is that she had a beautiful animal, a dog, who was frightened and ended up, she lost the dog. They never found the dog. That she doesn't know if it died, or someone has it, and this happened last year around this time. I think that she lost this beautiful dog, and that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it can be really heartbreaking. Is the dog the dog is with someone else?
Oh.
I feel like the dog is happy. I feel like some kids found it or something. Like it might have been somebody bad who took it, but I feel like the dog ended up
with somebody else.
Place, so she can know that the doggy is okay.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
I don't think, she has a beautiful kitty cat now named Wild Willie. Oh. And Wild Willie is wonderful, and we all love Wild Willie. But that was very, very traumatizing for her. Now, I may not be right about it, you know, that being the problem, but yeah, we all felt badly for Thayer when that happened to her. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just, you know, that they were bringing up, there was a tragedy, something happened, but sometimes it's just the right timing to find the right house that, you know.
Right.
I do feel, I see her happy in a home, like, I'm here, I'm home.
I could see her doing that. Yeah. She's fabulous. She's been really developing her medium skills, and she's also a psychic artist. She's an artist anyway, but she does psychic paintings. Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah.
And can I say, people can get a hold of me or go to
Absolutely. Yes, please tell people how they can.
You can, I have a channel, Sybil Harmony, my name is there, on YouTube, and I make videos. And then that's also my website, sybilharmony.com.
Yes.
And I do private sessions.
Private readings? Okay. Yeah. So you also do healings. I know that.
I'm almost in the end of November. December is starting to get booked. So.
Oh, well, that's good news. Look at you. You're going to be very lucrative then this month. This month coming up. That's wonderful.
Well, I love doing this work. I love helping people, and so here I am.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
And I love being on your show. Amazing energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You've been very gracious, and you're welcome to come back anytime. I love it.
I would love to. We'll chat. Okay.
Okay. We'll do it. Thank you so much, Sybil. Take care, everybody, and thank you for all your questions and your kindness in the chat. God bless y'all. We'll see you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.